This is the second one I worked on this week. I have 3 custom orders and, excuse me, 2 are done and will ship today. And the third one I will start working on today. But they're regular vintage books. The spines really fill out and get kind of chunky. And you can see from the top and the side that they're really, I think they're pretty cool. But that's just me. I hope that the 2 ladies that bought these are just as happy with them as I am. I love this cover. It's so sweet. She's just so beautiful. Look at all that hair. Wish I had hair like that. So anyway, here we go. Old vintage book pocket, postcard, and as I said in my last video, 95% vintage, some contemporary, but 100% original. I don't use copies of anything. There's those photo circles that I make from my photo collection. Again, Susie Blankenship and Madison from Paper Harbor Company and Mad Fox. You can find them on Etsy. They sell every weekend, and they have gorgeous stuff. I buy from them like mad. It's really been hard on the pocketbook. So this is a custom order, and she was really wanting, said her thing was botanicals. So I tried to include different things from my collection of gardening things, or flower related stuff. So here's another one of those earring charms that I talked about in the last video. Just, you know, orphan earrings. What do you do with them? I don't have time to figure out how to make jewelry. So I was like, I think this is an easy way to do it. So that's what I do. This is a contemporary piece of paper, but, you know, it makes a nice journaling spot. And, you know, it could be like stained to make it look more vintage. You know, labels. I'm big on labels, as you can see, 3 of them there. In the old books that I rip apart for these journals, I always save the illustration pages. This is from Madison. She sells these online, and they're just really sweet. Erte illustration. He was a great designer in the 20s. Another photo. I have a ton of photos, so I've decided rather than hoarding them, I'm going to start using them and sharing them. So you will expect to see many photos in your journal if you order from me. This, of course, is it is contemporary white paper, but I've tea stained it and, you know, ripped it apart. I like to do the ripped edge. I don't do a lot of cutting. I do a lot of ripping just because I like the look of it. I'm really into saving things that would end up in the landfill, and the ripped edges on the top and the bottom seem to just fit with that whole vibe for me. A couple of illustrations that I did some fussy cutting on, and I think they're probably from the same story. They have the same sort of clothing. Another photograph. Vintage text. I'm running out. I'm going to have to start looking for books that I have Scandinavian, Spanish, German, French, Chinese, Japanese, but I'm getting low because I've been using a lot of it. Here's some papers that could be used for writing. Lots of little vintagey things. I have a collection of vintage wrapping paper that I love, so I sell those in little booklets in my Etsy store, and then the scraps I just include in my junk journals. This is a vintage playing card, which has been turned into a journaling spot. I put those on my feed, and people were like, oh, those are really cool. Can I copy? I'm like, of course. I also like to keep the pages that people have made notes on in old vintage books because it gives it a real personal look. Illustration on illustration. Sorry, my hands on. Getting this filming thing down is kind of a challenge. This is only my second one. This is a contemporary card, but I love the flowers and the birds, and it seemed to fit with the theme of this custom journal. So old stamp. I don't know when it cost 29 cents to mail a letter. A little cigar or cigarette card. They used to sell those to encourage you to smoke, apparently. I have a very large collection of vintage cards too, thanks to my friend who picks for me at all the estate sales she shops at. Another card. So I try to include lots of different things and make pockets and tuck spots, as everybody does with the junk journaling. But this is an earring, if you can believe it, but I've had it forever, and I just thought, oh, this is perfect. Botanical gardening, a little shovel on the end. Those postcards that I have a ton of that I'm trying to get rid of. I also, at one point, tea stained a lot of glassine envelopes and bags and stuff, so those will be included. A little article about sunflowers. My friend Erin picked a bunch of botanical stuff for me. Here's another. This is from a really old book called Love Finds the Way, which I am going to make a journal out of love. I have the cover. It had these really fabulous floral illustrations. And that's the end of the first signature. I'm including this little book on flower preservatives, vintage. And then, as I said in the previous video, the second signature is not decorated. Oh, except for my standard collage with one of my vintage photos and buttons. And this is the stuff from the spine. When you deconstruct a book, there's this really cool old, it just looks really great. Stringy, grungy cheesecloth, I think. It's just to reinforce the spine in old books, which they don't do now. But if you're careful and you rip it apart, it's fabulous. And this is actually a little snippet of end paper. Some of the really old books have gorgeous end papers, so don't throw those away. Use those in your journal. So there we go. Another little kid's note on some book and the name. So sweet. So yeah, so here you go. Writing, I think this is from a ledger paper. It's sort of Slavic, Russian maybe even, I don't know. Irish bucket. So anyway, I'm always scrounging for new things and different things, and I love junk journaling because it gives me a way to use all the paper that I collect. This is a doily that I tea stained. It's really beautiful. An old brochure, opens up. You could do some fabulous journaling in there. Yeah, so if you're interested in something like this, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm always looking to make things for other people, and it's just fun. I just sit in front of the TV in the evening and play. So anyway, there we go. There's my tag. I was trying to include fabrics and laces and these little tags on the end. This is, sari ribbon, which I purchased on eBay from a dealer in India. So there you go.